Today, we are going to be interpreting data represented in a bar graph. First, let's look at all of the components of a bar graph. This bar graph's title is School Supply Sales. The title is above the bar graph. The categories for this bar graph are school supplies, binder, notebook, highlighter, folder, crayon, and clipboard. These are displayed on the left-hand side because the bars are oriented horizontally. The data points represented are the items sold. These are displayed at the bottom of the graph. The length of the bar graph shows the data points in a category. The data points represented on this bar graph are in intervals of 1, although they can sometimes be by more. A strategy to use when interpreting data on a bar graph is to label each bar by referring to the data points. For example, the number of binders sold was 14, so I will write a 14 next to the bar representing binders. The number of notebooks sold was 12. Again, I will write a 12 next to its corresponding bar. I will continue labeling each bar. 9 highlighters, 7 folders, 7 crayons, and 6 clipboards. Now, we will interpret data represented in a pictograph. First, let's look at the components of a pictograph. The pictograph's title is Bags of Food Collected. The title is above the pictograph. The categories for this pictograph are days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These are displayed on the left-hand side for each column. The pictures represent the data points on a pictograph. In this case, the pictures of the bags represent them. Notice that a pictograph has a key at the bottom. The key is the part of a graph that tells what each picture stands for. In this pictograph, the key tells us that each bag stands for 5 bags. That means that when we count how many bags of food were collected each day, we must count each bag by 5s. The first thing to do when reading a pictograph is to circle the key and read it. This is important because it will tell us what to count our bags by. This key tells us that each bag stands for 5 bags. Now, we will label each bag with a 5. Next, we will count the bags of food collected each day. Remember to count by 5s. On Monday, there were 5, 10, 15. 15 bags collected. So I am going to write a 15 in the table to collect the data. On Tuesday, 5 bags were collected. Again, I will write a 5 in the table. I will now label the rest of the days, making sure that I count by 5s. If you do not have a table to collect the data, you can write the total for each row at the end of the pictures. That will help read the data. For example, on Wednesday I had 5, 10, 15, 20. So I can write the 20 in that same column at the end to label my total for the day. That is how you interpret data on a bar graph and a pictograph.